Good morning, everyone. I think we can start already. We have 21 participants. Welcome attendees for Modern Data Protection in a Hybrid Multi-Cloud World. This webinar is brought to you by IBM, Technopack, and Valueline. This is Crystal, Marketing Manager from Valueline, and I will be your host for today. Again, just a gentle reminder to please put yourselves on mute so we can hear clearly our speakers and their discussion for today. If you have any questions during the session, please feel free to chat it out on the chat box. We will have a Q&A portion later after the presentations of our last speaker. Just to share about a brief background of our agenda for today, first we have Ms. Rina Ke, Business Unit Head from VBusiness, a new spin-off company of Value Line, to discuss about our solutions overview. Next, we have Mr. Lyndon Ogali, IBM Storage Specialist, and he will be discussing about IBM Flash Storage, Enhanced IT Resiliency, and Business Continuity. Lastly, we have Mr. Edward Navarro, Client Technical Specialist on IBM Storage Systems. He will be discussing on Client Storage Assessment Study and Modern Data Protection for Spectrum Protect Plus and Storage Insights. Okay, we hope that you will be able to enjoy today's session and be able to adapt these technologies that Valueline and IBM will going to discuss for you for today. All right, to start our session for today, we call Ms. Rina Ke, Business Unit Head for Cloud Solutions, to discuss about cloud technology, business resilience for the new normal. I'll transfer the floor to Ms. Rina. We can now see your screen po, Ms. Rina. Sorry, Ms. Rina, paki-unmute po. Thank you.
Okay, there. Sorry about that. Can you hear me now?
Yes, Ms. Rina, we can hear
Okay.
you.
Okay. So again, to give a bit of a background about Value Line. So Value Line has been in the industry for already 20 years. And we have in here three subsidiary companies from Value Line. So one of them is VBusiness, which is our company focusing on cloud solutions as well as other technology solutions, such as what our partner would be discussing later on. And we have in here Strict Lab Solutions, which is our research and development company, which provides application developments for companies who would like their applications be tailor fit into their operations. And our third subsidiary company is B1G2 Technologies, which is the exclusive distributor of ESET here in the country. They also focus in providing other security solutions for your on-premise environment. So as I mentioned, we have a background on development and security. That's why we have developed applications powered by AWS. So some of them are Cube, which is our hosting facility, our YesBot chatbot, our Sunrise Media for streaming platform, Access CRM for customer management as well as your sales funnel management, and our Earnest, which is our membership management. So we also have certifications, ISO 9001 and ISO 27001, as we make sure that we provide quality and security at the best standard for our customers. Okay, so let's discuss about the new normal for businesses and consumers. So we all know that as through the pandemic, we are now transitioning into the new normal, and we are now observing a shift on how we usually operate our business, due also to the shift on the behavior of our customers. So we now see that shoppers will shift to online buying rather than buying goods from the mall. We also now see a shift on how students are being open for flexible learning schemes. So we're now seeing a lot of schools opening up their online learning systems to their students. We also now see that people are more open now to using online banking transactions and doing cashless payments rather than paying with cash. And also, as what we are doing right now, usually we do the seminars face to face, but now communications mostly go through online as we are also practicing safety measures and social distancing. And of course, the big shift that we are already experiencing is now employees are working from home. We are now at skeletal workforce. So there really is a shift now on how we operate our businesses. And this shift is actually also affecting how do we protect our data? How do we make sure that our operations is properly secured? The data that we're handling for our customers is properly secured because even before the pandemic, we have other forms of threats that we have to watch out for as we protect our data. So there might be threats through flooding, through natural disasters, through cyber attacks, through terrorist attacks, and even through office vandalisms, as what we have seen from the news in the US, that a lot of the protesters are affecting the business operations. So these are some of the threats that we have to watch out for as we protect our data and as we proceed with our operations for our business. So let me introduce to you Amazon Workspace. So Amazon Workspace is one of the cloud solutions that we can leverage on as we promote remote working or even remote learning for our business. So it's a fully managed desktop as a service wherein we can provision either Windows or Linux desktops for your end users. So this service eliminates the additional task for maintaining your hardware's inventories. And it's very accessible as you can access your workspace account through laptops, through iPad, Kindle Fire, or even through your Android tablets. So it helps you eliminate the complexity again in managing your inventory, maintaining the versions for your OS and doing patches, as well as it helps simplify your desktop delivery strategy. So through this, we can leverage on the highlights features of Workspace. So first is coverage. So if your company is looking into doing your operations overseas as well. So let's say, for example, if you want to hire some specialists or some people outside the country, and you want to make sure that you still maintain the standard for providing the application access, you can use Workspace in provisioning to them their own virtual desktops. So it's open for 13 regions of AWS across the world. So in terms of coverage, you can select the nearest region to your end user. In terms of speed, so we can spin up a Workspace account for you within minutes. So instead of the usual process of buying a laptop device, installing the licenses, doing all the configurations, it takes some days sometimes. Unlike with Workspace, we can provision a virtual desktop for your user within just minutes. Then for scalability, so you can scale up or down dynamically the workspace users that you want to deploy to your operations. So it eliminates unneeded inventory. And as you only use up what you need, so you also lessen unnecessary expenses in the long run. And then for service level agreement, so we make sure that we have 99.9% monthly uptime commitment to our customers. So whenever you need your workspace, we commit that it is highly available and it is highly secured for all of your users. And then, of course, the most important thing in here is as we transition from our capital expenses to our operational expenses. So right now, we have a lot of customers that are very concerned in how do they acquire security solutions that at the same time would not cost them a lot for the upfront cost. So that's why for Amazon Workspace, we make it sure for our customers that they are paying for only what they use. So we're transitioning them into the operational or for the OPEX team for their subscriptions. And then security and compliance. So this is the most important thing for our services, which is maintaining the security. So what we make sure is part of the security standards is that all the data that is being stored on the workspace account doesn't get stored on the local device of your users. So this is highly recommended for, like, for example, if the company is a BPO or the company has strict compliances that to make sure that data of their customers are not being stored on local devices of their employees, you can leverage on workspaces for that because workspaces has encryption for data that is being stored within it. Okay. Now, what are the other solutions we can use for remote work and learning? So we have in here AppStream. So AppStream is our streaming application solutions, wherein you can put your application in AppStream, and then your end users, regardless of what computer they're using, they can be able to access the application and do collaborative work for that. And for Amazon Workdocs, so this is our content collaboration. So with Amazon Workdocs, you can easily collaborate with your internal or external team. So the good thing about Workdocs is it has a workflow for approvers. It has also a security protection for shareable links. So, for example, if you plan to share a document to an end user or to a team, you can set a password for that, and you can also set the expiration of the password. So it increases the security level for deploying or for sharing documents to external users. Okay. Then we have here Amazon Chime. So Amazon Chime is our communication platform for wherein you can chat, do video call conferences with your internal or external team. So with Chime, you have the flexibility to choose the communication option that fits with your business needs. So it's compatible with laptops, desktops, and even your mobile phones. So that's what Chime is. And we have in here our YesBot chatbot. So YesBot chatbot is our 24 by 7 real-time response. So this is a new service that we have launched for our customers, especially in the retail or any actually company that is heavy in customer support. So through chatbot, we can through the YesBot AI chatbot, so you can set predefined FAQs for your customers as we have experienced now that more customers are inquiring online for the services of the companies. So it's very crucial that we provide real-time feedback to them as it also provides a better user experience. So through USBot chatbot, we can leverage that on our business in order to provide frequently answered questions to our customers and help them more understand how the nature of your business or your solutions are working. Okay. Now, what are the business essentials as we transition to new normal? So one thing that you can leverage on is if, for example, you're looking into developing new website for your company, or if you're looking into doing some development or testing for your applications in a small scale. So you can use Lightsail for that. You can even build and host your website to Lightsail, and then later on, expand your resources for your hosting needs. And then we also have Workmail, which is our secured managed business email service. So through Workmail, you don't have to do the maintenance for your email servers. So it's all being managed directly by AWS. And then we also have in here the endpoint security, which is ESET. So as we all know now, as we shift all through online transactions, a lot of the potential attackers or hackers are also being more focused now in attacking our websites, our applications. So it's very crucial that we maintain securities in our applications, in our servers. So that's wherein ESET, our antivirus and other security solutions comes in. So again, thank you everyone for the time to attend our webinar and do look forward to our technology solutions that will be later on introduced by our partner Technopack and IBM. So I'll be returning the floor to Ms. Crystal.
All right, thank you, Ms. Trina, for sharing to us the Valueline Cloud Solutions overview. And for our next speaker, Sir Lyndon Ogali, he is a storage specialist, initially joined IBM in 2011 and has handled various industries such as banking, retail, education, and manufacturing. To discuss on IBM Flash storage, may we call on Mr. Lyndon Ogali. Hi, Sir Lyndon. I'll transfer the floor to Sir Lyndon.
Hi, good morning, everyone. This is Lyndon from IBM Philippines. Let me just share my PowerPoint. Give me a moment. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, Sir Lyndon.
Okay, great. So this is a pretty straightforward presentation, right? So just as a brief introduction, the Flash system family of IBM was recently announced early part of this year, around February, made available for order around March. So the IBM Flash system replaces the IBM Storewise, if some of you are familiar with that, as IBM's way of reorganizing or revamping the storage line, making everything simpler. So everything is now under one platform, which I'll be discussing later. So as a summary, right, let me start with the summary slide right away. The flash system family consists of the 5000 series, 7000 series, and 9000 series. But for this session, I will only be talking about the 5000 series. The flash system 5000 is our entry enterprise system. We say that it's entry because it's our smallest offering, but at the same time, it's geared for enterprise workloads. So we have the Flash System 5000 being deployed for various applications, whether it be database, whether it be for hospitals, we could say the imaging system, image repositories, etc. So if you look at the left side, right, we are boasting up to 1.8 million IOPS and 23 gigabytes per second of throughput. I understand not all industries and not all companies will need this kind of performance, but if the question is, can we do it? The answer is yes. So even on entry level systems, we can reach millions of IOPS, and we can also do compression. So since the topic is mainly on resiliency, I do have some slides also on how we implement operational resiliency and flexibility. So if you look at the right side, I will be going through most of these points one by one per slide. So the system, the Flash System 5000, is easy to configure, monitor, support, secure. So we're talking of license keys here and security standards. Easy to connect to the cloud, or sorry, rather simple to connect to the cloud, to scale, tier, integrate, etc. So to start, these systems are simply efficient. So unlike other deduplication or compression appliances, which may have significant performance impact, our our compression has the option to not impact the performance. So we do have a guaranteed 2:1 capacity. Sorry, 2:1 compression ratio, or rather the duplication ratio with IBM FlashCore. So FlashCore module is an IBM unique drive, right? So unlike your SSDs, unlike your hard drives, which can be offered by any other vendor, when we say IBM FlashCore, only IBM can offer this. So what is IBM FlashCore? It's a type of drive, right, that has its own chipset. So we say here, or the slide here says reduction up to 5:1. What does this mean for you? This means that, for example, you have a data repository of 100 terabytes and you will migrate it to IBM. It means that if your data is highly compressible, instead of deploying 100 terabytes worth of physical capacity, we can just deploy 20 terabytes worth of physical, and it will act as though it was 100 terabytes. So what that translates to for you is you don't have to purchase all your capacity up front. If your data is highly compressible, then we can just provision 1/5 physical capacity of your actual requirement. Aside from that, if we're not using flash core, let's say if we just want to use regular solid state drives, we also have data reduction pools which can also do similar data reduction, or rather data compression. So all of these things are subject to how much compressible is your data. I mean, we're aware, right? Most data types such as videos and images are not compressible. However, things like database, right, customer records, these are compressible. So we have tools that can check if data is compressible or not. So if you would like to check, please just maybe connect with us after the call, or you can say that you're interested via the chat, so we can get back to you with a compressestimator tool of ours. So for the data reduction pool, that is hardware assisted via the hardware controller of the storage, meaning there is overhead. However, by use of the flash core module, there is no performance impact to that, since the compression happens in the chipset of the flash core module itself, not the not the storage controller. In terms of operational resiliency, we have various setups that you can use to make sure that the system exhibits more than 6 nines of availability. So what does 6 nines of availability mean? It means that there will be less than a minute of downtime per year, and that's unplanned. But don't let that fool you, right? We have some customers who have been running IBM systems for 7 or 8 years and have not experienced any downtime. So just to go through this really quickly, we still have the traditional 2-site and 3-site replication configurations. So let's say you have two data centers 20 kilometers apart or 30 kilometers apart. We still have some software which can replicate site A to site B. It could be synchronous, it could be asynchronous. We also have replication of logical volumes via hyperswap from site 1 to site 2. And we also have enhanced high availability via stretching of these logical volumes multi-site. We also have the option actually to connect it to cloud. I think that's going to be in a later slide. So for cyber resiliency, right, on the how fast we can recover and what we can recover, for flash systems, we have a function called flash copy, which allows you to almost instantly recover from a previous flash copy or snapshot of the system. We can also do application aware recovery. Let's say we can recover containers if you're already implementing containers, or virtual machines. We can also recover from immutable storage or cloud. I mentioned this earlier. No, we can actually replicate to IBM Cloud or AWS via IBM Spectrum Virtualize for public cloud. So a quick view of how that works is that if you have a flash system deployed in your data center and you do not yet have a physical data center, we could provision storage for you either in IBM Cloud or AWS, and using a license feature of the flash system called Spectrum Virtualize for public cloud, we could connect your physical flash system to the provisioned storage for you on public cloud, meaning from physical, instead of replicating to a physical DR, you will be replicating to public cloud. So should anything happen to your physical deployment, you could recover from public cloud. I guess the question would be how fast the connection is. Uh, yeah, the question would be how fast your connection to public cloud is, and that would directly affect your recovery speed. We could also recover from tape. So if any of you are still tape users, we're now at LTO generation 8, right? So that's 12 terabytes per cartridge already. So we can recover using that as well, using a complementary solution or software from IBM called IBM Spectrum Protect. The systems are flexible. I would assume that we're all still using hard disk drives. So these flash systems are flexible in the sense that we can use different types of drives. You can still use your hard drives, or sorry, you can still provision hard disk drives, yung spinning disk. You can go for your SSDs, and you can also go for NVMe starting from FlashSystem 5100. I'll show the side by side comparison of the systems later. So if you were familiar with the introduction of SSDs, when SSD was introduced, it was expensive, but it was fast. And now we see that the price of SSD is declining in such a way that the price of SSD, same capacity, compared to the price of hard disk drives, is almost the same. We have some customers wherein they ask for hard drive versus hybrid configurations, and we would see difference of around 3 to 5% in price. But performance-wise, that would mean up to around 50 to 100% performance increase. So moving towards the right, uh, we have introduced, or the market has introduced, NVMe fairly recently. So in terms of speed and latency compared to SSD, this is also faster, but at the same time more expensive. Moving towards the right again, we have FlashCore, which I mentioned can compress data up to 5:1. It's also more expensive, but at the same time, performance is top tier. Okay, so this is how we enable our customers to achieve millions of IOPS. Now, again, I go back to not all our end users will need millions of IOPS, but depending on the requirement, we tailor fit our solution. We have some customers in the banking industry who have storage arrays fully populated with FlashCore. We also have clients in banking who have deployed specific applications who only use SAS SSDs. So there is no one size fits all here. Depending on the depending on the deployment, depending on the requirement, we will tailor fit the solution. So these systems, the flash systems, are also interoperable. So we can migrate from non-IBM systems. We can tier non-IBM systems. We can replicate to non-IBM systems via what we call Spectrum Virtualize. So if you look at the lower right corner, it says here IBM Spectrum Virtualize can work with other non-IBM systems. So to name a few, we have HPE, NetApp, Dell, Huawei, Hitachi, and Pure Storage. This means that using the Flash System 5100, we can virtualize these other systems and make them look like data pools of the Flash system. What does that mean for you? If you're a current user of any of these brands, let's say you have 20 terabytes on Hitachi, for example, if you deploy a Flash System 5100 to your aging Hitachi system, you can introduce that 20 terabytes of Hitachi to the Flash system as a storage pool. If your Hitachi is a basic JBOD or just a bunch of disk, what that means for you is that the Hitachi will be inheriting all the functionalities of Flash system, which I'll be showing later. Okay, and for monitoring, once your old systems are virtualized under FlashSystem 5100, we can now use IBM Storage Insight or Spectrum Control, which will be discussed later, for monitoring. The monitoring will include the health, capacity, and performance of your aging system. So, yeah, like monitoring, this is the simple snapshot or simple view of how it looks like. So you can see here the various pools with corresponding drives, nodes, FC ports, etc. So you will see here the capacity among others. So storage insights will be discussed later. So in terms of support, right, we do have an automation process to enable faster resolution on issues. So we do have call home features for that. So there are some demos on the IBM website, and the data collection for log analysis can also be automated. So there can be one less extra step for you in terms of problem reporting. In terms of security, our IBM Flash Core is FIPS 140-2 certified. So this is one of the highest security standards in the US. We also offer USB or key server encryption management via security key lifecycle manager. So depending on the type of security that you want or that your company demands, we can tailor fit a security solution for you. I mentioned earlier that the system is easy to connect to cloud. So like I mentioned, there are two options right now, which is either IBM Public Cloud or what do you call this? Either IBM Public Cloud or AWS. So instead of having a physical DR site, we can just have um, the flash system connect, or rather replicate, to your chosen provider, cloud provider of choice. Okay. So scale wise, right? The base model can actually go up to 1.8 petabytes using compression. So what does that mean for you? Your data currently sits, let's say, for example, at 100 terabytes. We do not need to deploy multiple storage enclosures to accommodate or migrate your data. Only one 2U enclosure, meaning we save on rack space, we save on cooling, we save on power. We have some customers who have migrated around 3 racks worth of other vendor storage to IBM, a 4U enclosure only. That's with the help of our compression, um, with our compression technology. So we can scale up, we can also scale out. We can also cluster the systems if needed for additional performance. But if the question is, can we deliver petabytes? Can we deliver millions of IOPS? The answer is yes, even on our entry-level systems. We also have tiering, right? For those of you who still want to use regular hard disk drives. So how the tiering usually works is we provision we provision different types of disk. So we can have your SSD, let's say a small pool, 5 terabytes, and the larger pool of, and the larger rather, well, I'll just use the term pool loosely here. In the larger pool of 10 terabytes worth of hard disk, you can tell the system that, hey, any hot data, meaning frequently accessed, will be moved to SSD, and the cold data will be moved to regular spinning drives. That means that the data that you need will be on the right drive at the right time. It also means that we're hybridizing the system, meaning we're balancing price and performance. But then again, I mentioned, right, earlier in this presentation that the SSDs are actually becoming very cheap already in such a way that that a hard drive or a hybrid model compared to an all-flash model will have around 3 to 5% difference in price only, and the performance increase is more than that. So we can have these comparisons later on. So when your storage is driven by VMware, right, or Kubernetes, if you're already into containers or already implementing containers in OpenShift, we're easily integratable, and the system is application aware. So we can work with Kubernetes, OpenShift, and CSI. But I won't touch too much into this. In terms of protection, we do have Spectrum Protect Plus, which is another we're offering to be discussed later, which we can use to offload data to tape or to the cloud. You can use that to search and access copies and to use your data copies for some be test and development. The snapshots are application aware, right? So yeah, more on that later. I'll just leave that to Edward. So in terms of quick comparison of the FlashSystem 5000, so if you look, sorry, from left to right, all models can do all flash or hybrid. Uh, our cache starts at 64 gig all the way to half a terabyte. Host adapter slots are two. Uh, I did not discuss storage class memory, so I'll skip that. NVMe support starts at FlashSystem 5100. SSDs, all of them can accommodate this. Support for SAS devices, all are yes, except for FlashSystem 5100. It can only accommodate hard disks in SAS devices on the expansion. So max physical capacity, raw capacity, meaning no compression enabled, 720 terabytes on the per enclosure. Right. So if your capacity on, let's say, a rack or maybe four enclosures is less than 720, this means that we can compress that into just one 2U enclosure. Okay. So if you look at FlashSystem 5030 here, the max capacity with clustering is 32 petabytes. I know it's large. Um, so in terms of the features, right? No longer talking about the hardware features here, but more of software features. As you go higher, right, from FS 5010, 5030, and 5100, we do have all of them are hybrid multi-cloud enabled. All of them are multi-tenancy enabled. All of them can do three-site copies, mirroring, tiering, flash copy, etc. But I think the slide can speak for itself, right? Starting from FlashSystem 5030, that's where the data reduction starts. That's where the clustering starts, and that's where the encryption starts. Starting from 5100 all the way to 9200, that's where virtualization starts. Meaning, this is the feature I mentioned earlier, wherein we can virtualize other vendor storage. So that can only start with 5100 and is not available on 5010 and 5030. Okay. So just like all other vendors, right? The higher the model number, the more features and the higher the hardware performance is. So I'll just take a quick look at the chat if there are any questions. Okay, there are no questions in the chat. And if you look at the bottom part, right, I mentioned that this is all a single platform. That platform is IBM Spectrum Virtualize. So whether you have or whether you deploy a FlashSystem 5010, 5100, or 9200, you will be looking at the same GUI and managing the same system. So it will all be familiar. Um, this is actually the end of the presentation on FlashSystem 5000. So No questions. I think if there are any questions, feel free to raise it in the chat, right? So I'll end it here. If there are clarifications, feel free to place them in the chat. I'll still be around, so I can still answer. I will also be sharing the slides through Valueline after. So Valueline, back to you.
All right, thank you, Sir Lyndon, for sharing to us on how to be resilient with IBM Flash systems. And before we move forward to our last speaker for today, we would remind everyone if you have any questions, please feel free to chat it out on the chat box. Meron po tayong Q&A portion later after our last speaker. All right, so for our last speaker for today, we have Mr. Edward Navarro. He is a client technical specialist and has been handling IBM storage and has been with IBM for almost 8 years and 20 years more in the IT industry. So to discuss on modern data protection with Spectrum Protect Plus and Storage Insights Pro, may we call on Mr. Edward Navarro. Hi,
Yeah,
Sir Edward.
good morning. Can you hear me, Crystal?
Yes, sir, loud and clear po.
Ayan, thank you. Once again, hindi po kami magsasawang pasalamat po sa bawat isa. Tagalog po ako ngayon dahil sa August po is buwan ng wika. But anyway, I've seen so many schools in the list. Holy Angel, I've been there po sa Pampanga, which I believe Pampanga po yan. Kapampangan din po ako yan. So today po, we will be discussing po yung modern data protection when it comes to IBM Spectrum Protect Plus. This is one of our software-defined storage in IBM. And aside from that, we would like to also to discuss, give you what we have on the tools that you can use free. Actually, libre po itong mga tools ito. When we say free, we have this IBM Storage Insights, which is for the performance of the storage, and while the IBM Client Storage Assessment is for the capacity planning. So let me start with the modern data protection, which is the IBM Spectrum Protect Plus. So today I'll be discussing what this is, the architecture, why we need to modernize our data protection, and lots of things. But in a brief discussion, so let me give you this chart. In a recent years, the usefulness of backups has evolved. It does not just concern on the backup, but really more than the backup. Instead of just being insurance policy, clients are now leveraging data from backup for secondary business purposes, just as test dev for development, reporting, and more. And really, the reasoning of this is that there is now a growing requirement for fast, accurate operational recovery. As a result, there are now two new requirements for the data in the backup environment. The ability to have fast recovery, again, not just a backup, fast recovery, time objective, which is the RTO, and the ability to provide service capability to the people that need access to the data. So these are the things that is now being modernized in the recent technology. So to move in our discussion, of course, why do we need to modernize the backup? So there's a lot of reason. Of course, having the technology, we also to make sure that the OPEX and the CAPEX make it low. And while it is low, we need to improve performance. And nowadays, as we are now discussing, we need to enable every system to be multi-cloud. When we talk of multi-cloud, it means we can have on-prem as well as we can have on public, and vice versa. There should be an flexibility to do things on-prem and on cloud. So this is how we need to why we need to modernize our backup nowadays. And of course, the cyber resiliency. There's a cyber attack going on, and really having the backup, it should be secure. Even the how we recover, it should be secure. And lastly, on this chart, we are saying to enhance business agility. Of course, at the end of the day, it boils down to our businesses. Yeah. So so on this slide, in a different presentation, this will be the benefits of having a modern data protection. So as you can see, more on the automation for the DevOps, dev test. No, really before again, before when we talk of backup, when we talk of data protection, I mean when we talk of data protection, it only means backup. But nowadays, it far more than that. And having this modern data protection, it will give this capability as well as the functionality. So and in a different use cases, as you can see, we need to fully automated the recovery, not just the backup. So again, paulit-ulit po ako in a sense na I would like to stress the functionality, the capability of the modern data protection. Having the Spectrum Protect Plus allows user to set up a recovery schedule and thus enabling the system to automatically perform recovery. And aside from that, of course, the disaster recovery, normally this is the baseline or classic use case in business continuity. Client can use the Spectrum Protect Plus for cost-effective data retention. Later, I'll be showing the reference architecture. And aside from that, having the modern data protection, it talks about DevOps. And even to the point, it talks about the reporting and analytics. See, saying this, even on the data protection, we talk about analytics. So, binackup mo siya. So, still, we could use that data in an analytics format. And aside from that, the SPP have this patch management. So these are the things that we could use the modernized data protection, which is the IBM Spectrum Protect Plus. So and again, this is in a different format of the use cases. Can I say it again? It is for cyber resiliency and fully automated recoveries. We talk about SLAs. Yeah, on doing the recoveries, we talk about SLA on the IBM Spectrum Protect Plus or the SPP, disaster recovery, and the rest of these use cases. So and really nowadays, who cares and why? Before, when we talk of backup, only the CIO, the business leaders, and even the IT staff is concerned of the backup and the recovery as well. But now, as we modernize the technology together with the data protection, even the other team, the dev team, the app team, the DBA, they have to have an automatic access on the backup data. So again, using this modernized data protection, which is the IBM SPP, it will serve of this requirements of each businesses. And let's talk about IBM Spectrum Plus. Yeah. So when we talk of SPP, it simply recover and back up the VMs and the files. So this is the simple use of the IBM Spectrum Plus. So in short, in the layman's term, for the virtual machine, whether it is KVM, Hyper-V, or VMware. So if some of you knew the Vim or the VM, so somehow they may look like, but really more than the virtual machines backup that we are offering on the modern data protection is the IBM Spectrum Protect Plus. And what else? It uses as a standalone solution, meaning there's no, should I say, prerequisite in that sense. No, it has own database, which is the MongoDB, but still you can use the SQL, even the Oracle. And I don't know if you are familiar with our IBM Spectrum Protect before, but we have an integration on that. So let me move forward. So now we have announced the new version of 10.1.6, in which we now support the containers for the cloud and even the Kubernetes. and again, it is an agentless file system backup. So saying that we don't need to put any agent on your VMware, on your Hyper-V, so it will call up the vCenter, the Hyper-V management center. So there is an integration on the virtual center on that regard. So this is now the 10.1.6. So say and giving you this busy slide, the reference architecture, but letting you know on this slide that we really support the cloud. So dito sa kanan po, if you see my mouse, and this is the IBM Spectrum Protect. So it supports the disaster recovery site, and you have an option to put it in the cloud. So that is why we called it a hybrid multi-cloud solution on the modern data protection. So again, if you have question technical, even on the system, just let us know. I'm just presenting to you the reference architecture. We are saying that it is only one workflow with multiple use cases, yung binanggit ko kanina. So this will be the essentials of the IBM Spectrum Protect Plus. So let me move on. So what else? What do we have? We also have an interactive demo link that you can go to the website. You can see how easy it is to do it. So yeah po yung link we will give it to you. So again, when you go to the link, it is free. It is a live environment, and it has sample data and more. It has a step-by-step instruction for common tasks. So for the technical or even for the non-technical, pwede nyo pong ipatry sa inyong IT admin. Yan. And let me move on the website. So this is the username and the password. You can have it. Yung link we will pass on to the Valueline team. And for the question po kanina, may nakita ako, we will answer that after this presentation. Just keep on putting on the chat room. So again, this will be the demo, guided demo yan. Meron po siyang mga sample tasks that you can run at your own pace. So let me move, and even to the point you can view the dashboard and the operation that you are doing. So basically, this is the GUI of the SPP, the IBM Spectrum Protect Plus. So ganyan lang po siya, ka-easy, intuitive. Okay. So what else? You may have a free trial link that can be installed in your infrastructure for the IT guy, or even for the CEO, CIO, na nandito po. You can instruct your team to do the free trial link. So ano po siya? This is the link. And we are giving 30 days, and really it is deployable in minutes. If purchase, no need to reinstall. So if eventually you would like to purchase this SPP, the demo that you have, that the trial that you have on your machine, which is already configured, ilalagay lang po namin license, and then it will be in a production. So this is how he see the Spectrum Protect Plus that can be installed. So what else? Again, this will be the link for your reference po. Yan. And then it will be downloaded through VMware yan, or Hyper-V. So and it is really an OVA. Yan. Ano lang po siya, it's an virtual machine deployment package po siya. So for those technical na narito po, you know what I mean. But for those non-technical, you can show this to your technical team. They will understand this, that this is how easy it will be installed. Kasi once na ma-download po itong 5 gig na to, and then you have a VMware or Hyper-V, it will easy to install in just a minute, and you have a trial version. So just to let you know, this will be the content of the 5.5 gig. Yeah, it's an OVA. So let me move. So the licensing, I'd like to share the licensing. This is how easy we license. Again, as I've said po, it will have a 30-day free trial and can upgrade from trial to paid license. So no need to rip and replace. Yeah. And the licensing will be is per 10 pack of virtual machines. So even though it will have much capacity, when we license it at a minimum of 10 pack. So, syempre, kung meron po kayong 15 virtual machines, you need to purchase a license of 10 pack of virtual machine. That's it. And if you have a database, it will be licensed per terabyte. But if that database is within the virtual machines, it will be licensed per virtual machines. So again, this is how we easy license of the IBM Spectrum Plus. And for us, for the pre-sales team, we normally have this sizing methodology. Just to let you know, we will give this simple sizing questionnaire that you can see in this screen. Again, we will be giving it to Valueline. And once we have this information, this one page information, we have an automatic or systematic way of doing the sizing. I mean, so that we cannot go wrong on that in that regard. Kasi it will depend if it's a 3 years backup, 4 years, 5 years. So we do have a systematic sizing guidelines. Just showing it just to let you know. And this is for the VMware. This is for the Hyper-V. And again, if you have an application of a database, this is how we do it. And at the end of the day, as you can see, it will give us capacity for the current year up to the 8-year, even the 10-year projection. So the reason why I'm sharing this to you is that you can be assured that we are doing the right sizing methodology when it comes to modern data protection. So anything that will be considered is in the sizing methodology. So again, this is the modern data protection, the IBM Spectrum Protect Plus. And may I continue for the tools that we have on the from IBM, and then and just to let you know again, these tools are free from us, IBM. We have this IBM Storage Insights and the CSE, the Client Storage Assessment. So let me go to the IBM Storage Insights. IBM Storage Insights it's another level of management of IBM storage. So meaning we do have the built-in GUI for the storage admin, but more than that, we are giving the analytics on doing and maintaining the IBM storage block storage. So that's why we call it IBM Storage Insight. So just to let you know that we have this portfolio, we have the Spectrum Control, and we have these cloud services. So meaning it is on cloud and this is on-prem. And really we can integrate both of these. So that's why we call it Hybrid-Multicloud. So let me deep dive on the, and by the way, let me show to you the IBM Spectrum Control, which is on-prem. IBM Spectrum Control is the end-to-end management of IBM storage. So in short, it's a full-blown functionality of management. And now we are now moving it down to the Storage Insight on cloud. So let me focus on that. And once again, it is secured. Some of our clients is saying, how secure is the Storage Insight since it is located in the cloud. So we have this encryption. I do believe some of you already seen this. I will not discuss it one by one, but letting you know it is documented that it's our own security, encrypted and compressed. So let me go to the next slide. So now, what does IBM Storage Insight does? So it can monitor unified many storage in the single pane of glass. So that's how it is. We can consolidate. If you have many storage, of course, kung isa lang, okay lang din. And it has a call home. Of course, I mean, when we talk of column, it's already given. Meron ng column ang bawat storage, but more than that, uh, we could have ticketing later we discuss ko. So again, this is how IBM Storage Insight differentiate. While we have a call home, which is already a basic in a storage product, this will be the new functionality. So when we talk of customer service, we automatic using the IBM Storage Insight, we can have an automatic log ticketing. So you will I mean hindi mo na kailangan tawagan si IBM or even sa Valueline for the support. It will automatic create a ticket for you using the Storage Insight. And let me give you the reasons to try Storage Insight. Unang-una po sa lahat, it is included in the IBM block storage purchase. And if you ask me, Edward, I do have IBM Storewise in place. So, later I'll be showing how you can subscribe so you can have this Storage Insight already once you have an IBM storage. So and really it is nothing to maintain. Why? It is hosted in the IBM cloud. No application, since unlike the Spectrum Control that we have, we need to maintain it on-prem. So at least you have an option right now. And again, number 3, it has an enhanced IBM support. Again, when we talk of support, it is for the purpose of log ticketing and log collection. And even to the point, you could have many more support history. So let me move. So 3 easy steps to get started with Storage Insight. So this is the registration. And once you have signed up, they will email you and then provide you the link for the data collectors. And later I'll be discussing the 5 minutes installation of the Storage Insight, and then you just need to register your IBM storage. So let me move on this chart just to let you know that this is the basic functionality of Storage Insight that you will be having once you have installed it. Why? Later kasi meron kaming tinatawag na Storage Insight Pro. Yan. So, but yung Pro, it is a subscription license. So 24 hours ang retention ng data not your data, retention ng log data. Okay? So let me discuss the Insights Pro. So if you have a non-IBM, yan ako na kasi more than the Storage Insight, we have this Pro wherein we can monitor and report on more third-party storage. So we support EMC, we support Dell, we support Hitachi. Yan. We are supporting this model of IBM storage, and now we are moving to EMC Unity. I-announce na namin, and then NetApp. So the reason why I'm showing this to you is to let you know that if you have a non-IBM storage system, and if you would like to monitor it this much, so you need to subscribe in a Storage Insight Pro. But if you only have an IBM storage, it is free on the IBM storage. But if it is non-IBM, you need to have the Storage Insight Pro. And really, more than what you are having on the Storage Insight, this will be other functionality on the Storage Insights Pro. I will not discuss it one by one. You can search it naman sa website namin for the Insight Pro. But bottom line, the beauty of Storage Insight Pro is that we can now monitor non-IBM if you have. So let me move on. Okay. And this is how we subscribe. So punta lang po kayo sa subscription website, and it can be can be on a monthly or on a yearly basis. So if it is Storage Insight Pro, but if it is Storage Insight, wala na po subscription. And again, how to register. So even now, while I'm talking, you can have this, i-google nyo lang po sa Google, and then it will lead you to Storage Insight Registration IBM. Kahit na hindi nyo po kabisaduhin yung link na narito sa slide. And then, just to let you know that if you have signed up, this is how it goes. It is a 5-minute setup guide. So just giving you how it is done, how easy, how fast, and then you will ask what operating system that you will be installed the data collector, and then license, and that's it. So i-save tong data collector Windows. Again, there will be no agent to be installed po. It's just we need to install tong data collector in a Windows or Red Hat operating system, and then eventually it will ask you for the IP address ng inyong storage controller. So that is for the Storage Insight. So let me move on for the client storage assessment. So what will be the difference between these two? For those for our client that would like to have a capacity planning study, so we have this tool, we call it IBM client storage assessment. So let me move on this. So again, as I've said, it is free, so zero cost, and it is easy to undertake, agentless. We will not put any drivers in your storage, even in your system. So ano po siya, non-destructive po siya. And again, if you would like to have a study on your multiple storage installed base, so we could do that on the CSA. And once we have the logs, later i-explain ko po in details, so we could have it revert to you. But it is not now 3 to 5 days kasi marami po nagsi-CSA. Please bear with us, mga 1 week or 2 weeks po siya. On this slide, gusto kong palitan nito. So, and again, this is how it works. So, this is the purpose of the CSA. We only collect yung metadata for the data collection, but on that metadata, we can provide an in-depth insight for your current multi-vendor storage environment, and we could build a TCO business case on a 3 years or on a 5 years frame. So ito po yung magiging result niya. What you get, a comprehensive, easy to read, single pane report. So medyo maliit lang po ang aking screen, but ito po yung magiging itsura niya. On the left is the current environment that you have, and on the right will be the proposed environment. And dito po, it will give you a graphical representation of the TCO pertaining to the power and the capacity. And this will be the architectural diagram that you have based on the logs that you got. And if you tell me, Edward, I could do naman capacity planning. Yes, but the CSA is a system automatically will give you the capacity planning that you would like on a 3-year or 5-year frame. So, and then if you ask me, meron na bang na-collect kayo dito? Yes, we have collected some of our clients. Siguro at this time 4 na kami. Why 4? It is now just released itong CSA, and of course nagka-COVID po tayo. But we are now doing it remotely, some of our clients. And by the way, before I forgot, I believe Technopack and Valueline will give a free jacket for those who would like to install the Storage Insight on the IBM storage, and even if they would like to have the CSA studies on their current storage infrastructure. Tama ba yun, Joey? Nandiyan ka ba?
Yes, Edward.
Yun, ha? So, bigyan ng jacket, ha? So, if you want to try this CSA, we will help you technically, even to the point we will guide your IT, and nandiyan po ang Technopax and Valueline to help you on the technical side to execute this insight and CSA. So, let me further discuss po ang CSA. So, again, as I've discussed po earlier in this slide, we will not install any agent on the system. We have this data collection process. We call it Unified Data Collector. So this UDC, we will extract metadata on your storage environment. So let me explain it in a more detail. Okay. So yan. So we will give you this file, itong collector, and really itong win collector will just run on your Windows system. Of course, dapat na-access po namin ang storage, and then just a click of a button. So it is the IBM CSA Unified Data Collector, and then irarun na po namin yan. Okay? And just to let you know that we can select non-IBM as I've discussed po kanina. We could have the Dell EMC if you have this one, and we could have the Hitachi, and what else? Of course, in IBM perspective, we have the FlashSystem, and for the demo purposes po, I've collected, this is live demo. I've collected the IBM V7000. So if you have the V5000, V3700, so we could do that, and just put the IP address, the username, and the password. That's it. The UDC will collect on its own. Let me move forward. So this is the data, and then the logs will be saved in your local drives. And so yeah, so this is it. For the technical, we just collecting the metadata, if you notice. So this is a live demo po. I mean, we got this from one of our client. In screenshot ko lang, and that's it. So there will be logs that we get from this UDC collector. It will be on zip file, and we need to link or upload it to the IBM self-service portal. Ito po siya. And again, some of our clients is asking me, pwede ba kami mag-upload from our network? Yes, you can do that. And if you check the data that we have collected, is just only a text file. It's just only a metadata. So again, this is the live CSA from different countries. So marami po kaming ginagawa dito. It's not only us. And again, it will give you the one that I've showed dun sa CSA studies. And with that, I'd like to thank you for having in our web live. So again, just what I presented for the IBM Spectrum Protect Plus, and the tool that you could use. It is free. May palibre pa yung jacket ang Technopack, ang Valueline, Storage Insight, and the CSA. So if you are interested on these tools, let me know. Even the Spectrum Protect Plus, you can have the demo, the trial one, or the demo. So you can have your team, your IT team, to do their own stuff at their own convenient time. So let me check. Let me check the chat. Do the slide will be shared? Yes, it will be given to the Valueline. So any question po? May question po dito from Rufino. How do you ensure that in hybrid multi-cloud world, the data handled are safe and secure? For the SPP, even the SI, we have the encryption that I've shared to you, which is it is certified. Meron po. Yan. So, and any other questions? Crystal, back to you.
Okay, salamat po Sir Edward for the very insightful discussion on CSA, Spectrum Protect Plus, and Storage Insights Pro. So kung may questions pa po tayo, please feel free to chat it out po sa chat box. Andito pa din po yung mga speakers natin from today. And also, I would like to acknowledge also Sir Joey from Technopac. Sir Joey, may mga key takeaways ba tayo for our attendees?
Okay. Hello, good afternoon, guys. Also, I would like to thank first all of our customers of Valueline. So thank you for taking your time off in joining us. I hope you gain a lot of insights by listening to a more relevant solutions that IBM can offer to your environment. I know a lot of you, a lot of our customers are thinking of a solution that would cater and would adapt to their business continuity strategy as we go along because of these uncertain times that we are suffering right now. So hopefully these solutions can address to one of your current pain points for now. So I think as mentioned by our speakers with regards to our remote solutions that we can cater, one good thing about this is that we have Spectrum Protect Plus. Yan. I think Edward mentioned about earlier yung trial version that you can use it to your environment and feel the functionality and experience how this can help you in your storage infrastructure plan for maybe a refresh or something. And also take the leverage on adapting the client storage assessment that IBM can offer. Uh, this can provide uh, depth understanding of your efficiency of the client storage infrastructure, their storage infrastructure, uh, to know if you're really using your storage more efficiently, right? And maybe will help you also decide doing a refresh eventually on your storage infrastructure. I know our storage is really exponentially growing, so this is very important for you to get advantage of the intelligence that CSA can bring to you, and hopefully can help you decide whether you got the TCO for this, and help you decide also to have the management approve of of your initiative in doing a refresh of your storage. So this is mainly free, so no cost to you. So, and we can do it also remote and securely, because we in CSA we're only getting the storage metadata uh, collection of your storage infrastructure. It's we do not use any agents to collect the data, so it's very secured. So no worries on sharing this and installing this to your storage infrastructure. Again, thank you for joining. See, Valueline will consolidate all the necessary inputs and information that you need, starting from the slides that our host presented, and the trial version that you and link that you can access to avail the free trial of SPP and other storage solutions that the speakers presented. Again, thank you.
All right, thank you po Sir Joey. If we have any questions, dito pa rin po yung mga speakers natin. Please feel free to chat it out on the chat box. And also, please do answer our feedback form by scanning the QR code that you can see on the screen. All your feedback will be very much appreciated for us to know how we can help you further and on what area we can improve for our next step. I think we don't have any questions coming in. We will also send out a link of the feedback form via email. And you may also send us an email, send an email to Valueline via marketing@valueline.com.ph. page. I'll chat it out later. If you have further questions or if you would like to schedule a separate session to us, ayun po, leverage po natin yung mga free tools ni IBM. And it will be also our pleasure po to discuss to you yung mga specific requirements or a particular solution po that is of your interest. No more questions for now. So I think that concludes our session for today. Thank you also to IBM and Technopack for making this webinar with Valueline possible. And yung link po kanina for the free trial, I think na-send po kanina yun. So we will send it out na lang po siguro via email so that we can leverage all the free tools that IBM has. Okay, that concludes all our session for today. Thank you, everyone. We hope you've enjoyed and learned our today's session. Stay safe and healthy po. God bless and have a great day. Thank you po.
Thank you.